What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. So today we're going to talk about this quantum garage that they created or is being created in Illinois with humongous amounts of taxpayer dollars. They call it the Quantum Garage. It's and this comes to us from Advantage News, and there's all kinds of other news sources that are promoting this as well. We'll get into a couple of them because I really want to get into a few of these. I don't want to just do one. I want to do a couple. So what the hell is a quantum garage? Well, I'll tell you what a quantum garage is. It sounds like something out of Star Trek. It sounds like they're going to try to do a jump room in Illinois. That's what it sounds like to me. But let's see what they say it's going to be. So they say Illinois opens a $315 million quantum garage. They state that Governor J.B. Pritzker, along with energy officials who are Department of Energy officials, celebrated the opening of a superconducting quantum materials and systems center garage in the western suburb of Batavia. Let me tell you about Batavia. Batavia rests on the Fox River. It is one of the farthest suburbs from Chicago before you get into the country of Illinois, of northern Illinois. It sits on a lot of farm area, but it also is close to city area as well. Plenty of people live in Batavia, Illinois. However, they have what's called the Fermilab. The Fermilab, once upon a time, had a Large Hadron Collider there. They also had multiple other accelerator programs that can be seen by space at the Fermilab. I have seen the Fermilab. They give you tours at the Fermilab. There have been multiple reports that the switch that happened in 2012 from our old timeline into the new timeline happened because of the Fermilab. So they're going to place this wonderful place right at the heart and center of the Fermilab's graciously open fields and create what may be Stranger Things opening into another dimension. Pritzker spoke at the grand opening on Monday and explained the importance of this project. The Quantum Garage signals a new era in the field and represents our best of National Quantum Initiative. Well, they got free $115 million from the Department of Energy and the government in a federal lab, or federal grant, I should say. It says, we will accomplish what few others can, building on Fermilab's unique strengths and related accelerator technology and particle physics, creating a global partnership that spans across academia, national labs, and industry. The federal agencies want to reach a new quantum frontier. Now that's all fine and dandy. I'm down with that. However, we're kind of playing with fire here, aren't we? It's kind of the same thing as Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland as well. That's continued on. Our Large Hadron Collider actually was shut down in 2011 by the forces or the powers that be. The quantum research studies physical limits of information processing and leads to advances in many fields of science and industry. So they took $200 million from Illinois taxpayers and $115 in federal tax funds. So what's the goal? In a lead up to awarding of the Department of Energy quantum grants, I asked the General Assembly to dedicate $200 million. That's what they say. Yeah. Today marks the crossing of a finish line, but at the same time, a beginning of a new and more exciting journey, one that I'm sure will be filled with discoveries. The garage, which they just want to make sound cool because maybe that'll throw people off the scent of what they're really doing, will be located at the 6,800-acre Fermilab campus in Batavia. Illinois is the only state in the nation to receive 2 federal grants dedicated to quantum research. Fantastic stuff. So what the hell is going on? What are they really doing? Well, let's take a look at another article on theadvantagenews.com. And What's funny is they're cutting the ribbon here, and it's got U.S. Department of Energy on the front. It's got Superconducting Quantum Materials and Systems Center on the front. Isn't that interesting? Systems Center. Where did we also see Systems Center? Right in the last podcast that I pulled up from the McDonnell Douglas facility in California, where they were doing none other than free energy stuff. You know, I mean, it's just like, it's the same shit. They're just putting it in different places. So they celebrated the System Center Garage. The project is the largest of its kind. Well, that's got to make you feel good if you live anywhere near there. Pritzker spoke at the grand opening. Yes. So this is the exact same article. It's like China, guys. It's the exact same stuff. All they did is quote him. That's all they did. So here's my problem. Quantum energy is great. Okay, don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say quantum energy. Quantum physics is great. It's used as a information delivery system. It's the action at a spooky distance that Einstein talked about, basically allowing one particle that is exactly the same or comes from the same material as another particle can be separated at any distance and can transfer information from one particle to another, which they've proven time and time again in these quantum experiments. So the question is, what are they exactly going to do at this quantum garage? What is the goal? Well, they're not telling us a whole lot, are they? They're saying that this allows us to reach a finish line in funding and then allows us to continue to do research. I'm sure as time goes on, they will give us some information. But as far as quantum mechanics go, they're not really giving us a whole lot. I wanted to take a look at quantum physics, new projects, new discoveries, and see, what's out there, because it can't be just us. It can't be just, the Illinois department, in Batavia giving us information. It has to be other places and locations around the United States or in other countries, giving us new information. So we know that China, I believe it was, did an example of this, and NASA did an example of this where they sent a particle from Earth all the way up into space, and they showed that they were able to transmit information in between Earth and space. So there's no distance. And they weren't in a direct linear line. They were on the other side of the Earth, so they know that it can go through hard objects like the Earth. So what are some of the new projects that we've found out, new discoveries in quantum mechanics? Well, they're using quantum mechanics now in computers for informational relay. They're using it to solve serious math equations that are really important. But what will the garage be used for? Is it going to be used for some of the similar projects that we have going on with the Fermilab? Why would they place it at Fermilab? Fermilab has the accelerator there, and the accelerator is really used to understand the universe and our dimension and our place in the universe and how the Big Bang happened. That is the whole purpose of the large accelerators. Now, why do we need something there? Was there a discovery that happened with these large accelerator colliders? That seems to be the case, because they must be asking for this new quantum garage to be built there so that they can work together. And that's exactly what they talked about. So something must have been discovered at the Fermilab where they said, hey, we've reached a plateau. We need a quantum garage to work with this accelerator. So let's say the theories are true, that the Large Hadron Collider and the other colliders that are at Batavia have reached some sort of discovery. They've been able to break through to the other side, as the Doors have said. In Stranger Things, Eleven and Mikey and all the other guys were battling creatures that the government had allowed through this portal that they had created in this crack in the basement of this government building, as they were using basically some sort of device like a Large Hadron Collider to crack through into another dimension. And the other dimension was this basically upside down version of our dimension on Earth. And we go to the other side and we see it's all dark. And there's these crazy demogorgons and crazy different aliens and bats and things that are just treacherous for us to deal with. Did they find this out? Now, when we talk about other dimensions, it doesn't always have to be some scary science fiction made up kind of thing. It could be, maybe, they found another dimension that was like heaven. Or maybe they found out another dimension that was just farther along, more technologically and spiritually advanced than us. And they were like, wow, this is really fascinating. And maybe those aliens or those people in this other dimension gave us the knowledge that we have to work on our quantum understanding so that we can save ourselves. Or maybe they got some information that said, hey, if you can develop this quantum technology and use it with this accelerator technology, you can create a better universe, a safer universe. Or you can communicate to the other side. Or you can send a particle from your quantum experiments to this other side. Almost like if you saw Stargate Universe, they had the Kinos. They were basically these balls with a video camera built in, and you'd send them through to the other side so you knew you were safe. You could see it on a little monitor on your, that you held in your hand. If we could send a molecule to that other area and we could transfer the information quantumly back to us, then we would have the answer of whether or not it was safe to go through or not. See, this is what I'm putting together of why they need a quantum garage next to all these particle accelerators. It seems like they've come to some discovery that they haven't given out yet. They give us little pieces, but they haven't told us everything. Government scientist discovers entirely new kind of quantum entanglement breakthrough this year. January 4th, 2023 on Vice. The discovery by scientists at Brookhaven National Laboratory, see, it's not just Batavia, could shed light on topics ranging from quantum computing to astrophysics. The scientists at Brookhaven National Laboratory have uncovered an entirely new kind of quantum entanglement, a phenomenon that causes particles to become weirdly linked across vast cosmic distances, reports a new study. The discovery allows them to capture an unprecedented glimpse of a bizarre world inside the atoms and the tiny building blocks of matter. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The mind-bending research resolves a long-standing mystery about the nuclei of atoms, which contains particles called neutrons and protons that could help shed light on topics ranging from quantum computing to astrophysics. These exciting discoveries took place at the Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider in Brookhaven in New York that accelerate charged atoms, known as ions, to almost light speed. When these ions collide, or even nearly pass each other, their interactions expose the inner workings of the atoms, which are governed by, quote-unquote, trippy laws of quantum mechanics. All kinds of weird stuff happens in the tiny realm of the quantum entanglement, like Albert Einstein calls it. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement happens all the time. Think about this for a second. And I know it's a little bit off, it's a little bit divergent, but think about this for a second. You go to sleep and you wake up, and immediately upon waking, you think, God, my friend Jennifer's going to call me today. She's going to tell me something crazy. Maybe somebody died and you had a dream about it, or you thought about it upon waking. This is an example of our capability of communicating with the collective unconscious, or also known as quantum mechanics. And so you can receive this information because we're all on frequencies. And if this frequency is trying to tune into you, aka somebody's going to call you and they're thinking about calling you and they are going to call you, they know they are, that sets in motion the future, what's going to happen in just a few minutes or in a half hour. And you immediately get that call, and it's the information that you already received. It's because that quantum entanglement between you and that person, we're all connected because we're all part of the same stardust. We're all connected quantum mechanically. Think about that for a second. We are all connected quantum mechanically. We are all made of the same stuffs. Our hands, our bodies are made of carbon that was on this planet, and it keeps recycling. The same water we drink was the same water that was around when the dinosaurs were around. The same land that we walk on was the same land that has been around for millions upon billions of years. So that's what I'm talking about. We are all connected. So, of course, it makes sense. Going back to the Vice article, there's never been any measurement in the past of interference between distinguishable particles. That's the discovery. The application is what we get to use when we start to do some nuclear physics. See, I like the fact that they're experimenting. It's one of those things where it's like, you can do it, but should you do it? And once you do it, you can't go back. There's no turn back time button like Cher wishes she could do in her song. There's no DeLorean and Marty and Doc can go back in time and change things. The only time machine that may exist is at some of these facilities like Brookhaven, Fermi, or the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, in Geneva, Switzerland. And another thing that's really interesting too, Batavia, Illinois is located directly next to Geneva, Illinois. And then the other Hadron Collider is in Geneva, Switzerland. I tell you, man, it's all connected, guys. It's all connected. There's a lot of fascinating stuff when it comes to quantum mechanics. It looks like Brookhaven is on the same path. I guarantee you, they were also vying for that federal money, the $115 million grant. That's a chunk of change, guys. I mean, it's not $1 billion, but it doesn't have to be $1 billion. $115 million goes a long freaking way. Now, I know we work with, budgets in the trillions of dollars. I get that. But $115 million, you could say that's just a drop in the bucket, or you could say it's a chunk of change. Well, can you do a lot with $115 million? Hell yeah, you can. What's interesting is Illinois is not the entire United States. They took $200 million of their taxpayer money to provide for this too. Is it worth $200 million in taxpayer money when you got crime, unemployment, and you got Chicago? I mean, Chicago's a freaking disaster, and there's crime all the time going on there. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff happening. Is it worth it? Probably. Could the money be better spent right now in protecting and saving us as a species? Yes, but the powers that be have decided that maybe this money is more important than what's going on right now in this recession for our future, to save our future. Because a lot of people believe that the government has the capability to see into the future with things like the chronovisor, with things like jump rooms, with things like quantum mechanic devices that they can create out of the free energy devices that they already have, out of the alien craft technology that they already have, out of the alien ship reproductive vehicles that they've already built. Is it possible for them to time travel and see the future? Maybe, maybe not. But we know for sure that they have the capability to talk or to look into the future with their remote viewers, because those remote viewers have written their own books and told us about the facts that they can look into the past and engage with people into the past, and they can look into the future and engage with people into the future. Joseph McMoneagle, remote viewer number 1, wrote a book called The Ultimate Time Machine. Do you know what he said the ultimate time machine is? The human body. Because we all have innately within us the capability to go into the past through remote viewing and into the future through remote viewing. It's only through training that we can do that. So they know what's in the future. And maybe the development of this quantum technology and collider technology, atom collider technology, is so vital to our future as a species that it's worth it to put us through a recession. That it's worth it to spend this money on this project versus keeping us fed, keeping people alive. Uh, it's a tough call, but it is an interesting phenomenon, an interesting business decision, and an interest in our own humanity. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because there's a lot of pieces of this puzzle. Money's one of them. The project is another. Our future is another. The government is another. The secrecy is another. And all the technologies that have come before this and provide for this play a role in what we will develop in the future for our projects. So anyway, guys, a lot to think about in this one, a lot to unpack, a lot to think about. But we'll continue to do research. We'll continue to dive deep and try to find more answers. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I enjoyed bringing it to you. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, following through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Go like, follow, share, subscribe, and Locked On Universe out.